my Battlefield 5 settings and the ultimate advice. Some of you have been asking me to make a video like this talking about my settings and what I use, so here it is. And not only I will show you my settings, I will also give you advices to succeed on the battlefield. Now let's start with the most important part of this video, and this is the advices. Now the first thing I want to say is that when it comes to settings, you should have your own settings. Because when we talk about first-person shooters and Battlefield, first-person shooters in general, it's all about feeling, and everyone has its own feeling, if that makes sense. And this is just an example. If I give you my settings, you will most likely not play well because the way you play or your feeling doesn't fit with mine. That's just an example. Now this is very simple to understand, it's very generalized, I'm not gonna get into specifics, but I also want to talk about the advices that, you know, other players usually give. Now there are lots of videos about advices on how to get better on a first-person shooter, and you know, some of them are helpful, but they all are mechanical, they all focus on the external side of things. And what I mean by external things, I mean by settings, or aim training, or the best maps, the best weapons, the best way to play on a specific map, on a specific mode. That's what I mean by external factor. And it is in fact what everyone talks about and what everyone teaches. And that is the surface of the iceberg, the top of the iceberg. Because the secret when it comes to a first-person shooter, it's internal. It's all about feeling. It's all about the state you are in when you're playing the game. And this is what I'm gonna talk a little bit about today. Now this is something that I will generalize because it is in fact something that I wouldn't say deep, but if you get into specifics, it's not easy to understand because we're talking about internal stuff now. Okay, let's start by analyzing what a video game is and the purpose of a video game. Video games are meant to distract us from our daily routines and to really try and have some fun. And some people end up really liking video games, and they also end up trying to become better at video games. Especially first-person shooter, because first-person shooter, it's a very competitive area. Now, there's nothing wrong on improving on video games. I mean, in fact, it is a positive thing. I think we all should improve on everything we do. But let's imagine that you want to improve at the video game to enjoy the video game more. Now, I think that's what the majority of the people want, right? We want to improve at the game, to be better at the game, to enjoy the game even more. Now, I can tell you that this isn't the case. The fact that you get better at the video game doesn't mean you will end up having more fun playing the video game. Now, let's talk a little bit about how to actually get better. Now, if you really want to improve, you should practice both sides, the internal and the external side. We already talked about the external side, and now let's talk about the most important side, which is the internal side. Now, when you're playing a first-person shooter and when you play first-person shooters, the main thing, the most important thing is the present. It's not the future and it's not the past, it's the present. It's a game that you need to be in the moment. And if you really want to succeed on a first-person shooter, you need to be on the right state of mind constantly. And you also, obviously, you need to be on the present. And the key here is to be relaxed and focused at the same time. Now, this probably won't make sense to you, but let's imagine a graph here, a graphic, right? In one side you have the relaxed state, and the other side you have the more focused state. Let's imagine that the relaxed state is the more internal state, and the focused state is the more external state. This is just an idea for you to understand. It's not literally like this. I hope you fully understand this analogy that I just gave you. But anyways, the secret here is to be in the middle, and that's the sweet spot. You need to be relaxed, and you need to be focused at the same time. Not to focus, and not to relax. And once you reach this state, you will be unstoppable, or you will at least be at your maximum. And for you to succeed on a first-person shooter, you don't need to be intelligent or smart or have a high IQ or have incredible genetics. Anyone can reach a high level when it comes to a first-person shooter, with the right state of mind. And I can guarantee you that everyone watching this video has already had some good moments. And you may think, oh, well, I was playing with noobs or I was playing with whatever. No, you were just on the right state of mind, but unconsciously. That's just what happened. Now, when you can reach that state of mind consciously, it's even better. It's a game changer, and anyone can do that. Now, of course, this is easy to say, just reach the state of mind, but the difficult part is to reach that state of mind consciously. And just to give you an example, let's imagine that you are right in front of me, and you are right in front of me. You are watching the video in front of me. You can't see me, but you are. And I tell you, start sleeping in the next 5 minutes. This is an example of trying to be on a state of mind consciously. I mean, it's not as difficult as trying to sleep, but it's an example. Now, long story short, the secret is to not try. Majority of the people, they try to be good, they try to be the best, whatever. The secret is to not try. The secret is to play the game in a relaxed and focused state. Now, this sounds like a class, but this really is the main secret. It's the state you are in. And now to finish off with the bang, and to really blow you away by all of this, you are actually not working towards being good at the video game. You're working towards reaching that state of mind when you're going to play the video game. So if you really think about it, you don't actually want to become good at the video game. You just want to reach the right state of mind when you're playing the video game. You want to enjoy the video game. You want to have fun playing the video game. And when someone sees a really good player playing the game, they are like, oh my god, I want to be like that, because if I'm like that, I'm gonna have fun playing the video game. So I hope you understand the trick here. I mean, it's not a trick, it's just the way things are. You don't actually want to become good at the video game. You want to reach the right state of mind when you're playing the video game. And I know a lot of people that are like insanely good at first-person shooters, but they are not on the right state of mind. They're not actually having fun, they're not relaxed. It's almost like they're sacrificing themselves to be good at the game. And they also, obviously, since they're not on the right state of mind, they don't reach their max potential. And if you pay attention, you can see the flaws when that person is playing the game, or even the way they react to the game. But this is totally normal because there's a lot of stuff in play. First-person shooter in itself, it's a very detailed and delicate type of video game. And the video games nowadays, the first-person shooter video games nowadays, they are not really... they're not balanced and fun, at least most of them. And that obviously doesn't help at all. So, the last realization is, you don't want to become good at the game. You just want to reach the right state of mind when you're playing the video game. And with the right state of mind, you will have fun and dominate on the video game. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about my settings and show you my settings. And I also hope you look at my settings with a different perspective with the information I just gave you. Because, once again, everybody has its own style, its own way of playing, its own way of being, really. And the way I play, it's not the way I recommend people to play. The flicky aim, the fast flicks, it's something that it's, on a competitive level, unnecessary. It's really something to show off, but it's the way I like to play, and it's the way I play, so my settings fit for that playstyle, if that makes sense. So now we are in the game, and I will just simply show you my settings. I won't explain anything, I will just show them. So, yeah, enjoy. Now here on the graphic settings, I have everything on ultra to make the thumbnails for the videos, but what I always use when I'm playing the game is pretty much everything low, but mesh on high. So that's it. And vertical sync off. It's on and it's off. I also play with DX12. For some reason I get more frames. And yes, I don't use any configs, even though I recommend you guys to use configs. You get like 25 to 15% more FPS. So yeah, I definitely recommend to use them. Now I don't use them because I'm lazy and because it looks horrible on Operation Underground and I play on that map a lot. So I just don't use them. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, leave a like. I would highly appreciate it. So yeah, once again, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye bye.